The word avatar, I found, has many meanings. It started out years ago meaning a representation of a deity. And then we had a film called Avatar. And these days we have messenger systems, email, we have gaming, and you're all expected to have an avatar of yourself. Now, some people don't use their own picture, they use their dog or their horse or something random. I've used this face, and the face that I use on my media, including YouTube. Sorry, I was just watching a dog get run over up the road there. I get distracted easily, you may have noticed with that about me over the years. But I was standing in this very spot 4 years ago, January 2020. It's a festival week here in Benicassim. I was talking to you on this camera, or another one, and my head was backed by fountains. Well, that's not going to happen this time. But I've got the video that I took then, and I'm just going to show you now how I took my head out of the picture and used it as my avatar. So the cafe that we were in 4 years ago on the town square, where we had the little cakes, that's gone, it's closed down. A lot of things disappeared during COVID, so 4 years later it's not there at all. Well, the hut's there, as you can see. And I've now come to the place further along the beach. We're 6 bus stops south of where the town square is. Luckily, there's a bus that terminates by the town square. We just hop on it and we come down along this beach, and we get a bus to an apartment over there. But before I show you all that, I'm going to go back and show you the festival as it was 4 years ago, because this time we're not going to be able to stay for the paella day, and the streets are full of people cooking paella. We're not going to see that this time. So a brief look back at how it went 4 years ago. We stayed in this area before nearly 20 years ago in a hotel just a few hundred meters from where we've now taken the flat. And at the time we didn't know much about the area at all. We chose a walking route from the station, which we didn't realise at the time was nearly 5 kilometres, and took us past the water park, which I've never seen open. So this is where the bus drops us off, right opposite the flats, and from here we have to walk back a few yards and across the zebra crossing, and we're immediately into the gardens of the flats we're staying in. We're up there on the second floor, nice flat with a balcony, and so just a couple of floors up in the lift, and we're looking down on the gardens below and of course out at the Mediterranean. And here is where we are for this week. Okay, bit of techie talk. We've now come into the apartment that we're renting, and I'm going to show you the equipment. This is the internet router. This is how we're able to get things to you real fast. It's a bit like the one you may have seen at home. You may not have seen the network connection. It's a very thin piece of wire. You're generally still using copper wires at home. We are using this in full fibre, but not a lot of people can get that yet. This is a full fibre connection in a rented apartment. I'm very impressed. It does over 300 megabits a second. If you don't understand what that's about, I can see Ruth's blanking over. Let me tell you that I happen to have noticed if you say megabits per second, people glaze over. So let's call them miles an hour. Your average internet connection, like the one we've got in our flat at home, goes at 60 to 70 miles an hour. This one goes over 300 miles an hour. Bit of a difference. So we've got brilliant internet here. It helps me get my videos straight to you as quick as possible. I'm going to put this down and go out there. So I'll see you out on the balcony in a minute. So this is the balcony they gave us, and we've got this nice little seating area. Now, most daytime TV, they have a couch. We've got a couch. We can do programs out here too if we wanted, but actually we're going to do most of our stuff out there in the real world. This, however, is great because it's warm out here, and I know I should apologise for that because in the UK you're having snow and ice, and we're having 21 degrees at the moment and a lovely blue sky and a blue sea. I'm going to bring my laptop out here in a minute. I'm going to start editing and I'm going to get all my equipment together here. So this is where I'm going to be working this week. I'm sorry about that. I'll be back in the snow next week. There's a few miles of beachfront you can walk along, and most of it's got a boardwalk, and it takes about half an hour to reach this point from our flat. This is Torre San Vicente. We've been here before, and there's a bar that we found here which is worth a look. There's a beer called Moritz which I'd never heard of. But apparently it's been around for 160 years. It's from Barcelona, and I'm not sure why I haven't seen it on my travels before. My attention was drawn to this bar by the little car advertising the beer. This is some video of 19 years ago when we stayed in this hotel, the Hotel and Tour, and it's just around the corner from where we're staying at the moment. We got used to all the bars on the seafront, and I thought for old time's sake we'd go back and see them. This is the old video of the bars we used to go in many cases for breakfast, sometimes for lunch. And going back to these areas in 2024, this is exactly the same position on the beach, and a sweep of the camera shows an empty building site with only the ramp down from the main road to tell me we were in the right place. Luckily, there are other bars down here. We've come to Benicassim this week because we've been here before and we knew there was a festival on, and it's the San Antonio Abad, or Anthony the Great festival. Lots goes on in the streets of Benicassim. We'll be travelling back as they're getting out their paella pans to start their day. But we are going to see some of the other events that took place on the main street around the St. Thomas Church.
ahí. Tú también.
Y al puesto.
And so we leave the people of Benicassim and district dancing and enjoying themselves on the streets. We'll be back in Spain next month for another look around.